Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I'm Nayanika and I make book related videos, and today I'm going to be talking about all the new books I got in the months of May, June, July, August and September. So May to September. I hope you enjoyed this video. This video has been a long time coming, but I finally decided, or rather I finally got the time to sit down and list all of these books that I got. So without further ado, let's dive right in, and I hope you'll enjoy this video. Watch until the very end. Subscribe if you haven't already, and click on the thumbs up icon if you like this video. So let's begin. I will be consulting my journal down here, so don't mind if I keep looking downwards. I got five new books in the month of May, and out of these, let's see, one, two, three. Three are books I bought by myself, one is a review copy, and one was a gift. So let's go over them. The first book I have here is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. Now, this was a gift that was given to me by a dear colleague because I was shifting. I had just resigned from that job. So it was a farewell gift to me, and I'm very, very excited to read it. Now, this, as far as I understand, it's a real life narration or a person's experience as he went through the Holocaust, Viktor E. Frankl, and I've heard only the good things about it. I've heard it's very motivating, it's very helpful. In a sense, it gives you a lot of hope to the reader. It's also harrowing to read about these experiences that this person went through, and so many others did. So yeah, I am hoping to read this very soon, maybe in winter, I think. But yeah, once again, many thanks to Abhiram for gifting me this book. Really, really eager to pick it up. All right. So the next book, I actually bought it myself. This is a poetry collection, To the Man I Loved Too Much and the Ones Who Never Loved Me Enough by Gabriel G. Now, I honestly don't know anything about this book. I just picked it up because I liked the cover. That was the first thing that attracted me to it. And in the blurb synopsis here, in her first collection of poems, Gabrielle G depicts different love stories from the initial spark to the last heartbreak and writes in verses the heartache we've all been through. So, going by that synopsis, it's all about love and heartbreak, and I'm actually looking forward to reading this and seeing how it goes. I actually started reading it. Um, I read this much and kept it down. I think I was not in the mood for it at the moment because I don't have any negative thoughts towards it or my experience of reading it. So I probably put it down at the moment because I was not looking for something like this. But yeah, I am very, very eager to pick it up. I think you'll hear me say that about every book on this list, that I'm eager to pick up these books. But that's because I'm genuinely very, very excited for these books, at least the ones I haven't read yet. Then I have another book. This is one I bought, and this is Rumi, the Book of Love. This has translations and commentary by Coleman Barks. Now, again, I'm sure you all, whoever has read Rumi, has loved Rumi's work, and I have heard so much about Rumi that I think it's time to read up on his works and basically educate myself on something like this because I've heard that these transcend the normal ideas of love that we have. So it's quite interesting. Let me share a few lines from the synopsis. A thousand half loves must be forsaken to take one whole heart home. Let the lover be disgraceful, crazy, absent minded. Someone sober will worry about things going badly. Let the lover be. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere, they're in each other all along. There are some really amazing blurbs right here by different poets and translators and authors. So everybody has only the good things to say about Rumi's works, and that is why I intend to get on that train as well. If not exactly on it, but at least to know what people are talking about. Then I also actually got King of Envy, and Anna Huang, and I really enjoyed it. However, I don't have that book with me right now. But as you all know, I am really interested in these whole King of Sloth, King of Envy, this whole series. I forgot the name of this series. But anyway, I really, really enjoy these books. There are a lot of criticisms that can come up with these books, but that said, these are very addictive, very quick, and very entertaining. So, of course, I read this one as well. And I had a really good time with this. I'll probably share my thoughts about this reading experience in the wrap up video, but it's a book I've read, really enjoyed, and if you want something quick and snappy romances, I would definitely recommend Anna Huang's romances. The last book that I would like to talk about is a review copy that was sent to me by Pan Macmillan. This is Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake. So it's about these three Wren children, and basically their father, Theo Wren, he dies. He's a brilliant CEO of this whole empire where he has sort of merged technology and magic. So he's died, and now the question is, which among his three children will be the heir? Basically, will get all the ownership of this empire, and all three will benefit greatly from getting this empire. So that's the basic premise of this. It is a great mix of technology and magic. So this was really interesting. I, however, read how many? I have a bookmark still here. If I can find it, yes. So I finished till chapter 9 of this book and I put it down. Unfortunately, this was a DNF for me. It's not something I enjoyed the writing of. So yeah, it was a DNF. But that said, the premise is really interesting. And like I always say in my videos, do not go by completely, at least, by the thoughts shared by me and other booktubers, other bookstagrammers. If a synopsis of a book really intrigues you, then you pick it up and you decide for yourself. I think at the end of the day, it depends on you whether you'll enjoy it or not, and not on the on your favorite booktuber, bookstagram, or whatever. It is nice to get a guidance, maybe if that's what you're looking for, but to completely depend on someone other's experience of a book, of reading a book, that's not quite wise, I think. So yeah, if this is something you enjoyed, let me know what you liked about this book. It would be very interesting to know a different perspective of behind reading this book. So those are all the five books that I got in the month of May. And now let's move on to June. So June consisted of another five books that I got. There are no particular order, but first off, let me just say that I bought the Princess Diaries Part 10 and I gave it as a gift to my cousin. She has recently started reading the entire Princess Diaries collection from me, um, Part 1 through 9. However, I don't know where my Part 10 went, so she could not read after Part 9, obviously. So I thought, since she is enjoying this series so much, I can just gift her the Part 10, and that's what I did. She really, really loved it. And if you have read the Princess Diaries as well, because I have and I loved it, it is an integral part of my childhood. Then let me know your thoughts, because I think that series is just so, so cool. And now that we have a new movie coming up, I think that's really intriguing as well. Then I got a classic. I bought this book myself. This is William Golding's Lord of the Flies. This is a 20th century classic. It's about this group of boys and their plane crashes on a desert island. Um, so these are basically schoolboys, and they are the only survivors from that whole group who was that was in the plane that crashed. At first, they enjoy this freedom very much, not having to follow any routine or anything like that. But soon, their sense of order begins to collapse. Their fears start to take on a sinister, primitive significance. Suddenly, the world of cricket, homework, and adventure stories seems a long way away. The boys are faced with a more pressing reality, that of survival, and the appearance of a terrifying beast who haunts their dreams. So this is a really, really interesting premise for a book, and this is a premise that has given rise to many, many different literatures throughout. I think Yellow Jackets is a Netflix series of this group of girls who are stranded on in a forest, I think. So a lot of books and movies have been inspired from this tale, and that is why it is something I really intend to get to. Again, I have also been craving a lot of classics these days, so this is on my radar for sure. Then, um, I am from Assam, as I'm sure you guys know by now. So I make it a point to read Northeastern literature as much as I can, and that is why I got this whole collective book. It is Labba Stories from the Northeast. It is volume one, and it has been edited by Kinfam Singh Nonkinri and Rumi Nath. Kinfam Singh Nonkinri, as you might know, is the author of Funeral Nights. I have been wanting to read that book for the longest time, but honestly, the size of it has been intimidating me. But nonetheless, this is a wonderful collection of books, stories from all across the Northeast. It has a wonderful introduction as well, and there are stories by Temsula Au. We've got Janavi Borga's works, Homen Borgohai, then Haripada de Burma, then so many amazing books, and Lumer Dai even. And I think the best thing is that this is just part one. We have a part two as well. So once I finish this one, I'll be sure to pick up the second part, the second volume as well. And another good thing is that many of these stories in here are translated. So it's really amazing to see stories being translated from native languages of the Northeast India into a mainstream English that makes it more accessible to non uh, to who to basically English readers, and yeah, brings out these stories to the mainstream really. So I'm really really excited to read this book. Again, I think at this from this point onwards, I just should say ditto about my excitement of reading all of these books. Next one is a poetry collection, and this was such an exciting buy for me. So the book that I'm talking about is The World's Wife by Carol Ann Duffy. And I have read Carol Ann Duffy's, what was the name of the poem? I think originally I and I really enjoyed that poem. So I'm excited to read these stories, specifically more so because these stories are actually about the women counterparts of famous people, famous characters, all of them male in history. So to give you an example, um, let me share the titles of a few of these poems. We have Pilates' wife, Mrs. Aesop, Mrs. Darwin, Mrs. Sisyphus. We've also got Mrs. Faust. We've got Queen Kong, Medusa, the Devil's wife. Really, really interesting. We've also got Pygmalion's bride. So it's for the first time, I think, at least in my reading history, that I'm going to read Pygmalion's bride's point of view. I think I also read Galatea by Madeline Miller, if I'm not wrong. My Fair Lady is also an kind of retelling of the Pygmalion story. But anyway, you get my gist. So I am really really excited to read this collection of stories, poems rather, and I'll be sure to share my thoughts very soon. If you want to read more of retellings that center around the female voice, this is a poetry collection that you should definitely read. Lastly, I got a core childhood classic, a core childhood memory even from every Assamese kid's childhood, and that is Grandmother's Tales, folk stories of Assam. So originally, these are short stories written by Lakshminath Besbora in Assamese, and these are stories that all of us kids from Assam have grown up with. They were narrated to us by our grandmothers, parents, grandparents. You know how it goes, and we have all grown up with these, and these stories form such an important part of our identity of our memory of belonging to our homeland. And especially this one, this is the English the English translation. It's done by Harshita Hia, who also wrote The Forest That Ate People and Other Not So Scary Stories, which I really enjoyed. That was a collection of short stories. This is her translation. This is her attempt at translation of this amazing collection, and I bought this book. It has some amazing funny illustrations as well, like this one. I'm not sure if you're able to see, but I'm really really happy I got it. I also got um, it signed here again. So yeah, I am really eager to read it. Again, I think this is probably a book that I'll read one story of maybe every day before sleeping at night, and I just want to savor it. I don't want to read it quickly and be done with it. I really want to read it and just relive my childhood, so to speak. So those were all the 5 books I got in the month of June. Then moving on to July, I got just one book, and this is actually a review copy. So we have here Shield of Sparrows by Daphne Perry. This was a review copy sent to me by Penguin India, and I am very very grateful to them for sending it to me, because I for a fact really enjoyed this book. So this is about a princess who has been overlooked in her kingdom for the longest time, but one day suddenly, when these foreign prince comes to her kingdom, basically her sister and this foreign prince were about to be wed. The foreign prince demands that instead of her sister, he wants to marry her, and that is where the story begins. She is unexpectedly thrust into a world with unexpected expectations that come from her new position as this about to be queen of a new kingdom. It has a lot of adventure, a lot of traveling as well in this book. So it's really interesting. It has a lot of that kind of Bildungsroman element, because we see her growing from a very kind of timid, overlooked person into a queen, essentially. So this was really interesting. It will have a sequel, and I am really eager to get that, because I want to see what happens. So that said, this was very interesting. Again, I have more thoughts which I'll talk about in my review, in my book wrap up post. But this was really, really an interesting book. You could definitely give it a try. Adult fantasy, if you're looking for that, this is a new book that you can definitely try. So that was it for my July book haul. Then in August, I had my birthday, and I got one, two, three, four, five, six new books, um, all of which are mostly classics. So, firstly, I got two Penguin Archive books. Now, these books are the new kind of like series that Penguin is coming up with of classic novellas. These are printed, the covers are very simple in white and red, and I love them. So I got two of them. The first is A Lost Lady by Willa Cather. This is my first book from the author, and as you can see, it's a very minimal, very beautiful cover. This is a book about this woman called Mrs. Marion Forrester, and it's basically her story told from the point of view of this little boy who gradually grows up as the story progresses. His name is Neil, and we see him and his point of view, basically, um, and how he sees this wonderfully attractive, enigmatic Mrs. Forrester. It's very wistful. It has a bit of nostalgia almost in it, in the way it's written. It has got a bittersweet element, and it is very much like the Great Gatsby. Now, this has been said to be a significant inspiration for The Great Gatsby, and since I have read this book, I definitely agree with it. So, if you loved The Great Gatsby, I cannot speak today. If you have read and loved The Great Gatsby, you will really enjoy this book as well, and I think you should definitely give it a try, considering it's so short. Also, if you're hoping to get into classics, short novella is great. It's a great place to start. Moving on, I have another Penguin Archive classic. This is Reflections in a Golden Eye by Carson McCullers. Again, another simple book. I have not read this one. Let me give you a brief synopsis. On a military base in 1930s Georgia, Private L.G. Williams catches sight of his captain's wife in the nude and becomes obsessed with her. But Captain Pendleton, unhappily married to the unfaithful Leonora, in turn erotically fixates on Williams. Spare, muscular, and sensual, with the dramatic vision of a Greek myth, Carson McCullers' novella is a timeless work about the alienation of forbidden desire. Really, really interesting. I'm excited to read this book. Then I have got two more classics. Um, these were actually gifted to me by my parents on Amazon. So the first is A Month in the Country by J.L. Carr. Now this is about a survivor of the First World War who um, basically spends the summer in a countryside village where he spends time uncovering a huge medieval wall painting. Now this, I feel like the vibe of it is very slow paced, very relaxed, being in the countryside, exploring life on a slow basis, slow living. And that is why I was very intrigued by this book and I wanted to get it. Also, the book cover is really, really amazing. This is also, I think, narrated in flashback because the hero of this book, Birkin, basically he, in the current timeline, he is an old man and is looking back on that idyllic summer of 1920, remembering a vanished place of blissful calm, untouched by change, a precious moment that he has carried with him throughout the disappointments of all the years. So again, another very short classic. I think I'm going to immensely enjoy this. Um, Already looking at the cover, I get a sense of peace because it feels like an amazing place to have a vacation in, I think. Yeah. um then I also got Cold Comfort Farm by Stella Gibbons. Now the reason I wanted this was because it really gave me Daddy Long Leg vibes, and let me give you a brief synopsis of this book. When sensible, sophisticated Flora is orphaned at 19, she decides her only choice is to descend upon relatives in deepest Sussex. At the aptly named Cold Comfort Farm, she meets the doomed Starkaders. Um, but Flora loves nothing better than to organize other people and resolves to take each of them in hand. A hilarious parody of rural melodramas, Cold Comfort Farm is one of the best loved comic novels of all time. So, really, really exciting. Um, at least the synopsis sounds like that to me. So it also gives a little bit of vibes of Emma. So perhaps that is why I was attracted to this book. There's also another book, I think, Christmas at Cold Comfort Farm. Once I'm done reading this, I definitely intend on getting that book as well. So yeah. Then I got two more books. The first one right here is The Stranger by Albert Camus. I have not read any Camus works so far, and I think maybe I should start. Honestly, I have no idea about The Stranger as well. If you have read Albert Camus' works, then let me know which book you think of his is a good book for a beginner like me to start with. Um, Let me share the synopsis from the back because, in case you haven't read this book like me, maybe this will intrigue you. Ever feel disconnected from everyone around you? Camus' unforgettable novel follows Mersault, who drifts through life with an emotional flatness that ultimately lands him in serious trouble. For today's readers dealing with burnout, social anxiety, or just questioning the rules everyone else seems to follow naturally, this book hits differently. As mental health conversations become more open, Mersault's detachment feels less like a philosophical exercise and more like a recognizable state many experience. In a world that demands constant emotional performance, his refusal to fake feelings raises uncomfortable questions we are still grappling with today. Really, really interesting. This is an Optimus publication. It was quite affordable as well, just 195. That said, there is no introduction or afterword if that's something you're looking for. As for the translation, it has been translated from French by Stuart Gilbert. Then the last book I got was Graveyard Shift by ML Rio, and I absolutely love this cover. It is everything I like. And I'm saying that as a person who really enjoys speculative fiction works. So this is about this group of kind of misfits around a college campus who are all insomniacs, and they all are up at night, and they all join to share a smoke at this nearby dilapidated cemetery. This is something normal that they do every night. However, suddenly one night there is a hole, a grave in the ground that shouldn't be there, especially because that cemetery is no longer used. And from there we have a whole investigation that these people do. It's very interesting, and I think Amerio has done great in creating that atmosphere, especially for a novella such as this. It feels like an entire novel, all encompassed in these few pages itself. So it was really interesting, left me wanting more to know their lives, the characters' lives behind the screen, behind these pages, so to speak. Really left me wanting for more. And I think that is the power of a good short story or a novella. So yeah, really enjoyed this. And those are all the books I got in August. Now let me talk about the books I got in September. And I got three books in September. Okay, in no particular order, we have firstly Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. This is, I think, the only Ali Hazelwood adult romance that I hadn't read. I did end up reading it immediately, but this was the latest and the last of the adult romances I had to read of Ali Hazelwood. Really enjoyed it. In this book, we follow these two athletes. One is a diver, one is a swimmer, Scarlett and Lucas. They are both in the Stanford University, and basically we see them dealing with different issues, mental blocks, expectations of society, and so on. This book also discusses a lot of sex and kinks. So if that is something not up your alley, you might want to check the trigger warnings before reading it. Again, this is not a book for everyone compared to other Ali Hazelwood books, because again, this has a lot more explicit, if not scenes, then a lot more explicit discussions that, again, it's not for everyone. But I did enjoy it, so this was a fun read. um, Then I have this book, Daddy Long Legs by Jean Webster. Now, this was a gift from my partner, and I really enjoyed reading it. Basically, it's about this 18-year-old orphan. She is suddenly sponsored to go to college by this anonymous, trusty, anonymous donor from her orphanage. The only condition is that she give him, or she should write him letters every month, giving him updates about her life and everything. And it's so funny, so hilarious, so wonderful. This was a reread, and I really loved it, and I really recommend it to all. The last book that we will talk about today is my last book haul from September. September? Yes, September. And this is The Tainted Khan by Tarun Matharu. This is book two of the Dragon Rider series. I really enjoyed Dragon Rider, which is book one. This is the whole Soulbound saga in which a boy who has been kept as hostage in his enemies. He's basically a prince, kind of, and he has been kept as hostage in his enemy's kingdom after the enemy defeated his father. It is his tale about emerging from that kind of hostage situation and learning his path in life, learning his identity, his heritage, his inheritance. And yeah, this is really interesting. Would definitely recommend it to everyone. I just flew through these two books. Book one is just as thick, and I finished it. I ordered this, and I read it in what, 2 or 3 days. I enjoyed it that much, and I'm really hoping to get the book three soon. But I think this book part two is a recent release, kind of, more or less. So I don't think I book three will be released anytime soon. This was published in 2025 itself. So yeah, I don't think book three will be released anytime soon. But I am actually really, really eager for book three because I love this series, and I want it soon. Yeah, so those are all the 20 books I've got since the months of May up until September. So those are all the books that I've got in the months of May to September. I had fun actually tracking all of these books and placing them all together to film this video. I hope you enjoyed this video as well, and you got some recommendations as well for these books, because I think these books are really, really interesting. And of the ones that I've read, I really enjoyed everything, and I'm excited to read the rest. If you are if you are taking any of these recommendations, do let me know which. And if you've read any of these books, let me know your thoughts. Especially for the books that I haven't read, I would love to know your thoughts, what you thought about them, whether you liked them, hated them, whether you want to rant about them, whatever. Just let me know, and it would be good to get to know your thoughts as well. But that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again very, very soon. Until then, take care. Bye.